Mr. Schaub, sorry for your loss.
Hello, guys. What is up? This is Into the Bapaverse. I am Hector, and welcome back to the show. Let's just jump right into it, like always.
Oh, dude, don't make it go over the side like that.
I'm little Nicky.
Because of the reason how bad it looks.
You don't like emo fake boy?
That looks horrid. Put it back or put the hat on.
With one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit line. Exit this. Yeah. You don't like emo fake boy?
That
Mr. Schaub.
So let's talk about Masvidal being on the Fighter and the Kid podcast. Quite a surprise. They didn't expect for him to be there. I know he was there for the UFC 291 when Dustin Poirier fought Justin Gaethje for the second time for the BMF belt. Remember, Masvidal was the previous BMF champion, and he was there to pretty much, I guess, to relinquish the belt because he retired already. And so he was going to give it to the next winner, and the next winner was going to be in lightweight. And so he was there to pretty much put the belt or wrap the belt around somebody. Usually that's Dana White or one of the guys, the matchmakers. But this time it's Masvidal kind of like passing the torch kind of way with that belt. Also, it's more like a trophy belt. You can't really defend that belt, so a lot of people are iffy about it. But regardless, Masvidal was there, so I assume this is why he's there in LA. He's here in LA. I don't remember. It was probably in Vegas or somewhere that the fight happened. So he must have went down to LA and done maybe a couple of podcasts. And this is the Fight of the Kid not the Fight of the Kid subreddit. This is the UFC subreddit. And they put this posted by Dana White's mom. It says what rock bottom looks like. And it's got Masvidal, Brendan Schaub, and Brian Callen here. And it seems like the comment section is giving Jorge kind of roasting Masvidal for his style of choice of an outfit here. It's funny because they were trying to like riz up Jorge saying, hey, man, you look good, you know.
What's funny about a fighter of his stature is every major movie star knows who you are. So if you walk into a Hollywood party, everybody from Will Smith to whoever it might be,
You're also not going to confuse it, though. You're not going to be like, is that Jorge?
No,
like,
they
there's
know
not a
who
lot
it
of people
is.
that...
You know, we won't be able to wear that. You know, we just can't wear that. We will look ridiculous. And he's like, not even Brendan can wear that, but you can wear that.
A few people can pull that off. Not even you can pull that off.
No, I can't pull that off.
Dude can.
But it's funny because like everybody in the comment section is like, what is he wearing? And they're saying they're referencing, some guy says Nandor the Relentless. I guess Nandor is a guy from the show from What We Do in the Shadows. It's a reference, I guess, on the sub. And that's like a show about vampires. So I can kind of see it, I guess. Are they performing in a circus? That's hilarious because their podcast set looks like a circus, which makes no sense. Doesn't look good. A lot of people don't like the set. I think a lot of people like the old like diner look, but they you know, that was with the Fighter and the Kids with the Z when he had all these black dudes with him when Callen was kind of in the canceled stage of his career.
Oh, no, she's dating a girl now. She's dating Miley Cyrus's daughter.
She used to date Bella Thorne.
Mr. Schaub.
So Masvidal goes to the Fight of the Kid podcast and they talk about, or Masvidal kind of says that, hey, it seems like you'll be down to fight. And he offers him a fight, kind of jokingly, right? I don't think they were serious. I think they were just kind of messing around with the idea of it. He tells him, oh, you know, because Masvidal has his own sort of like promotion. He has like boxing, like just pure boxing. And then he has bare knuckle MMA, which is also kind of a new kind of thing. And I think that's, and just regular MMA. And he offers Brendan a proposal, right? He offers him a fight in his promotion. I think it wasn't as serious as it seems like, but they kind of joke around with it. And let's watch this clip. So this clip is called Nothing a Double Leg Can't Figure Out.
Damn, bro.
I heard you're making your debut on my promotion. Yes. Who you want, bro? Who you want, man? Yes. I got my matchmaker right there. Who you want? I'll go get him, bro.
Probably me.
Bare knuckle. Who do you want, man?
Bro.
Come on, if you had to.
I don't know if bare knuckles for me.
It'd be the. You would hate that.
Like,
Who you want, bro?
like just based off that reaction that he does, that crackling laugh, it's just like, you're serious, bro? Hell no, I'm not gonna do it. Just right off the bat, it just seems like it's just a joke.
Who you want, man?
Yes.
I got my matchmaker right there. Who you want? I'll go get him, bro.
Probably me.
Bare knuckle. Who do you want, man?
Bro.
Come on, if you had to.
I don't know if bare knuckles for me.
It'd be the. You would hate that so much. I can just see you being like, I gotta fight bare
But you know
knuckles.
what it is for me? Money.
It's money.
Yeah.
Now
I don't know.
You know what?
talk to
Listen to
you.
me. This is a.
I hear that Brandon is like a Golden Gloves boxer. I don't know how true that is. I don't know what kind of level that is in Golden Gloves or whatever. But it seems like, you know, where he thrived more was in MMA because he wasn't a strong boxer, but, you know, and also very much of a mid wrestler as well in his jiu-jitsu too.
real thing.
What's the real thing?
I'll be in your corner. I'm there for you.
That's gonna help. That's gonna help me win.
It'll help. Listen, with my fucking silver tongue in your ear, and you're like, I can't do it. I'm like, you got this, bro. You got this.
No, you need to distract my opponent. The free agents, I'm sure as fuck not fighting Verdum or JDS, bro.
No,
you can keep that, dude.
I heard Derrick Lewis is a free agent too.
Oh, that's right.
Let's find somebody.
But you allow grappling and everything.
Yeah, it's MMA.
Come on, bro.
Imagine Derrick Lewis fighting Brandon Schaub, man. That fight will be finished within a minute. Same thing that happened to Curtis Blades will happen to Schaub when he tries to go for a double hook or a double leg, as they says. Nothing a double leg can't fix.
These guys have been on each other's radar for quite a while.
MMA,
I wouldn't say no to Derrick Lewis if I can grapple.
Woo! Wait.
What the?
Derrick Lewis debut in my promotion versus Brandon Schaub.
Come on, man. You know how many people would?
Hey,
Do you
Derrick
understand that people's heads are just
Are you
exploding?
bro?
Hey, hold on. Damn, bro.
I heard you're making your debut on
Derrick Lewis is so anti-wrestling. He's the living embodiment of just get up. You know, just get up, bro, if you get taken down. So yeah, it's quite. I think they're joking. I think this is just a kind of a fun, kind of little banter kind of thing, and I don't think Brandon is gonna step in there with Derrick Lewis. It's just too much of a risk for him to go in there and then immediately get knocked out. Derrick fought a guy recently. What's his name? His name is Marcos Rogerio de Limas, and this is what he said after the fight. He lost as well, so this is what his statement was to the media. My teeth are all loose. I can't eat properly. It's a hard moment. Marco Rogerio de Limas details injury after loss to Derrick Lewis at UFC 291. So that will be your outcome. Derrick Lewis delivering a Masvidal 5-second knockout to you, Brandon, and hopefully that double leg, you can do it in time where he doesn't break all your teeth or make your teeth all loose. So it's dicey, Bapa.
Where's paying your life?
Now let's go to the comments here. Let's see what they say. Wooden Journalist 41 says Derrick Lewis would kill him with almost 400 upvotes. Kid Broccoli says, I love how overconfident he is in his ability against an active top heavyweight. I think he's just messing around. It's just, I don't think he's serious. I think this is a joke. This just can't be real.
Where's paying your life?
So now let's talk about Brian Callen going to the Joe Rogan Experience. He was going to do some shows there, but I guess since he wasn't going to make it to the Fight Companion, Joe Rogan invited him to the show, and they talked for like 3 hours. I did not watch that. I'm not watching any more 3-hour Joe Rogan podcast, man. I'm not. So let's watch this clip. This one's called Bapa versus Black Beast, and he tells Joe Rogan that Masvidal offered him a sum of money to do it. So let's watch that.
Oh,
By the way,
kick.
I don't know if you've heard the rumor, but Masvidal looked at Brendan yesterday on Fighter and the Kid and said, hey man, you could always step in the old cage again.
Oh boy.
And you know, but the numbers, there's some numbers thrown around there. And I was like, I heard those numbers and I kind of went, hey, he's in. And Brendan was like, hey, what the f- are you talking about? I go, shut the fuck up, dude. And I was like, maybe I'll do it. It's some numbers.
Yeah, Brendan does not need to get hit in the head anymore.
Just but hey, wrestle him.
I thought you were his friend.
Like Joe is just getting flashbacks of him and Brandon talking about the time when he had to tell Brandon, hey man, you gotta quit it, man. You're gonna get some brain damage, you know. And when he's like, you think you can out wrestle Cain Velasquez? He's like, I think I could. And he's like, Brandon says, I think you'll be surprised. And then Joe is like, I think you'll be surprised.
If you had a wrestling match with Cain Velasquez, how well do you think you'd do?
Straight up wrestling?
Yeah.
I think people would be surprised.
Really? You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd be surprised.
Mm.
I really do. I think he'd f you up. And I say that as a friend and a guy who loves you.
Wrestle him.
But if you can.
He was throwing Derrick Lewis out there with no gloves.
Good Lord.
But wait, hold on. Just hear me out.
Do you want to die?
Sir, hear me out.
What?
I'm just talking about just shoot a blast double.
Shut the
Take ground. And then we got
Shut
that.
the f Shut the
I'm just
Lopez.
Yeah, it's a little funny edit from Lightchup B. So yeah, I mean, he's right. Like, what kind of friend are you, man? Look at this man. He needs like 10 nicotine packs to like somewhat speak properly and be coherent, you know. And Joe already saved his friend like a long time ago, right? From getting even more CTE or maybe getting some CTA. So yeah, like a lot of people in the comment section here, let's see what they say. Kinko CFC says Slob must be seriously down bad if he's actually giving it a second thought. Black Beast, what laughing face emoji, almost with 500 upvotes. So yeah, there's and automatic ad 572 says, and Brian must know too with the mention of the numbers being thrown around. I think the way that right now, like, people are talking, you know, shit about the how fighters are being paid. I think Masvidal will try to give him a fairly good number. Like, I think he'll try to work with him. Maybe he might give him 100. Who knows? Like, we don't know. Like, we just assume, like, why would you give Brendan $100,000 unless people buy it so they can see Brendan lose? I think that will be the appeal for people to buy the pay-per-view and see how he does in another promotion. But even Brendan said, like, I can't even fight yet because I still have like 2 fights or 1 fight with the UFC, so I have to fight 2 fights in the UFC so I can get out of my contract. And then Masvidal also said too, he's like, yeah, I think I have 1 more left. So that one's also iffy too there, because the only way Brendan can really actually fight is if he goes back to the UFC and completes his contract. This kind of thing, this offer is kind of off the table. I think maybe if it's just solid MMA, I think he just can't do it, or MMA and bare knuckle, maybe he could. Who knows?
We're both athletes of the UFC. That you know how it is. I'm just retired, not like released.
It's
not like, nah, you don't
UFC
get.
does.
This is not
They freeze your contract.
Yeah.
So even like when I retired, I still had, I think, maybe 1 fight left on my deal. They're like, cool, but if you ever decide to do anything, you still owe us 1 more fight, even though if you're done.
damn. How about
It's
you?
not like you get a get out of free jail card. Like, oh, new contract.
I think you could talk.
Going back to the 100,000 or whatever he might get, I just don't know. Maybe he could. Maybe Masvidal will be able to give him that much money, and either in cash or in sponsorships. Who knows how they'll work that out? So that one's, I don't know. That one's kind of dicey too. Dicey. Here's another clip with Joe Rogan talking about Bapa here, called another L dealt by Papa Toe to Bapa. Let's look at that one.
You know what we're doing on Fighter and the Kid, right?
What are you doing?
We're gonna have
Brandon Schaub
Martin
get more brain
Nope.
damage?
Well, I have to talk him into that. There's a number.
You're not talking him into that.
Hey, we're talking.
What the
There
f is wrong with you?
There might be a check. I might be his
It was one of
manager.
the most traumatic moments in the history of us doing podcasts together is convincing him to stop fighting.
I know. and I'm pulling him back in. Now listen.
Why?
Hey, if there's a number on the check.
You're like the colonel in the Elvis movie.
I am a bad guy.
Piece of shit.
But how about this? Mighty Mouse, Bradley
You
Martin.
got a gambling problem or something?
Yes, I'm putting all my money on Derrick Lewis. And so is Brendan.
Bro,
We're
I
both-
would too. I can't bet on the UFC, but I'll bet on that.
Brendan.
Sorry.
Damn, both of his friends are going against him. But they're being honest. It's for his own good, right? Joe doesn't want to give Brendan another speech on, hey, man, you can't do this. You can't do this fight. You're going to get hurt. You have to go back to training and stuff. All these other fighters, they have training already. Just don't do it. And let's look at the comments for this one. It says, Unfair Bird 4592 says, this was a highlight of the 3-hour podcast. Jesus, Kellen is boring as F. All I do is lie to you, says the obligatory animal videos, inner bitch conquering who would win with unrealistic fight scenarios, political conspiracy, and aliens. That was the parts I took giant leaps through. The exact same shit talked about on JRE, forever rehashed. This guy says, Meek Gill says, let me guess, each fantasy fight scenario ended up with grape, McGee, and Little Toy winning each battle. So they're just, I guess these people are talking about the 3-hour podcast, and it seems like a Joe Rogan podcast with them talking about aliens and conspiracy theories. That's just almost every Joe Rogan podcast now. It's just rehashing old stuff and recent culture and whatnot.
Mr. Schaub.
Okay, now we got Brendan's perspective on what happened, or his narrative on what happened during that conversation between Jorge Masvidal and Brian Callen. Let's watch this.
It started off as a joke when Jorge came on, and Jorge's like, well, we want to offer you a fight. I'm like, it's not happening, dude. And we're just joking around. I was like, I'll fight another comedian. I'll fight Louis C.K. or Tim Dillon, like joking around, right? And he's like, no. He's like, Derrick Lewis, a free agent. And Brian's like, oh, Derrick Lewis. I'm like, I'm not. Are you out of your fucking bare knuckle with Derrick Lewis? Are you out of your fucking mind? Hold on. The free agents, I'm sure it's fucking not fighting Verdum or JDS, bro.
No,
you can keep that, dude.
I heard Derrick Lewis is a free agent too.
Oh, that's right.
Let's find somebody.
But you allow grappling and everything.
Yeah, it's MMA.
Come on, bro.
It's MMA.
I wouldn't say no to Derrick Lewis if I can grapple.
Woo! Wait.
What?
Derrick Lewis debut in my promotion versus Brandon Schaub.
Come on, man.
Bro.
You know how many people would?
Hey,
Do you
Derrick
understand that people's heads are just fucking
Are you
exploding?
bro?
Hey, hold on. Are you crazy? Then they threw out another name like, well, I could beat that guy tonight. My show.
Yeah, I mean, look, this the thing he said about beating up other comedians is just being overly dramatic or dramatizing the story. People caught that and said, you did not say that. But I think for Brandon, he's trying to be funny to his idol, to his North Star, right? He's trying to be funny around him, making jokes, trying to make the conversation that he had with Masvidal more interesting and more funny. But, people are always like, on top of Brandon's behind on this, and they'll clip everything that he says or that he says wrong, or like as I said here, history has been rewritten. I've experienced this with other people too, like in real life. It's not that serious in nature. It's like he's just trying to be funny with Joe. He's trying to make his dad laugh. He did get him there with Tim Dillon and Louis C.K. He got the job done.
And we're just joking around. I was like, I'll fight another comedian. I'll fight Louis C.K. or Tim Dillon, like joking around, right? And joking around, right? Oh, you don't like emo figures?
That
But let's look at the comments regardless, right? This clip is called History Has Been Rewritten, in case I forgot to say that. Let's look at the first comment. It says, from Pharaoh80, it says, he's 100% back on the Addies for the fight companion. Shotgun 516 says, breaking out the Addies for his career resurgence show. I think the part where Masvidal said it'll make people's heads blow is kind of a true thing, but like it'll make their heads explode because it's a dumb move for Brandon to do. It's like it's not worth it for him to get hit again, especially against Derrick Lewis, who's got the most knockouts in UFC history in the heavyweight division.
Oh, really, dude?
So now we get to Joe, Brandon, and Eddie Bravo doing the fight companion, and in this clip, Joe Rogan pulls out the smelling salts, which is like ammonium powder in a powdered or crystal form, I think. What they are used for is weightlifting for gym bros to like smell it, and it gives them kind of a upperness or like.
This is gonna be rough. This is gonna be rough.
But are those for the legit joints? They use it at fights?
Oh yeah, no, they use it. They use it like power lifters use it before they attempt a big lift.
Really?
Like, this hurts from here.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, Joe.
No.
And so I think they also use it in case somebody like faints too. I think they're also used for that because they're so strong. So this one, that Joe gives it around everybody to try it, and Brandon kind of. It seems like they're saying that Brandon is being overly dramatic here. So this clip is called "Does Barndoor Even Use His Own Blinks and Sneezes?" I don't know what that means, but yeah, let's watch that.
But Brian Simpson did throw his headphones off and ran out of the room when he did it.
Because it burned?
Yes.
He got too deep.
He went
Here?
Yeah. I told you, bro. I told you, bro. It's no joke. There's something extraordinary about whatever the fuck those smelling salts
I freaked
do.
out.
So yeah, I think they're trying to say that Brandon is like he heard from Brian Simpson, another comedian. He smelled it and he overreacted, right?
It can't be that bad.
It is.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, he went too close.
Oh my god.
Brandon heard that and boom, light bulb came up and hey, maybe I should get a viral moment here. Kind of like how Bert Kreischer does with his squealing laughs and shit. So Brandon hears that and he's like, hey, I'm going to try to make this thing go. Maybe I'm going to go viral by doing this thing. Maybe if Joe shouldn't have said that, like, hey, Brian Simpson acted that way, maybe he wouldn't just be all dramatic and stuff. Let's look at the comments here. Rabbit023 says, zero originality. If Toe would have said Brian Simpson ran to the bathroom and put his head in the toilet, Brendan would have done the same thing. Yeah, I think like I said, yes, like if he shouldn't have said anything about anybody's reaction towards it, he would have probably just had a normal ass reaction. Generally those smelling salts, if you do them a lot, they're not really good for you in the long run because they mess up your nerves in your nose. So you should not be doing it all the time. And I've heard that too. I'm not a doctor, right? But
I'm not a doctor. I'm a moron.
I've heard like you should not be doing it all the time. It's not really that good for you because you are smelling ammonia, and ammonia is not a good thing to smell. Regardless of how good it makes you in the gym.
Mr. Schaub.
So then, after the fight companion, he does the Schaub show, right? I think on Mondays or something. And so Brandon talks about the smelling salts, and here's the clip. It's called "If There's One Thing Bapa Needs, It's More Vices." Let's watch that.
I'd watch it all day.
Yeah, but so the salts, I saw you doing taking it.
I think Juju Mufus.
I don't know.
He sent me a bunch. I love it.
But I mean, so does it affect? Because remember we did the chip challenge where it affects you like crazy and it's hardcore.
No, this is it hits you like a fucking ton of bricks, and then it's just you're awake. And my sinuses were cleared. I could breathe. He sent some to the crib.
Juju, you should bring it here.
I'm going to. Juju sent to me. I'm bringing some to the crib because I was like, oh, I want more. I did 2 or 3 times at Rogan's. He's like, you shouldn't do it too many times. Like, well, shut your mouth. I loved it.
That'd be awesome. Let's all try
I loved it. It's so intense. It burnt like
I have no idea.
So wait, so does he have just a box of it? He doesn't use it, or he just recently started using because he has a box of it?
You know, like a wasabi, like when that it's an intense wasabi. It's just like boom.
Yeah, in your
it's
nose.
like that. But it goes away quick.
I like that it goes away quick.
I was so bored during no shade on Corey Sandy. I was so bored during that fight, and I was, I didn't sleep much, and then we were drinking. I was tired. I'm like, give me some of that smelling salt to wake me up for this Jake Paul fight, and I was crunk, dude.
And it doesn't affect you for the rest of the day? Just that one time?
It's a quick hit, like 10 seconds.
Dude, let's do it here.
And then you're awake. I've never breathed better in my life.
That's even cool.
Chin is fiending, man.
I like that.
He's like, hey, bring that stuff over here, man. Let me see. Let me try it. Is it better than Kratom? It's got to be better than Kratom, bro. Brendan for sure is like, oh, forget the Addies. This smelling salt, bro, wakes you up.
I was like focused. I loved it. Loved it.
All right, you got to bring it in.
Yeah, absolutely loved it.
Look at the top comment here. It says, from a handsome black man, of course he's going to be balls deep in smelling salts now. Of effing course. This one, here's another comment. $2 Scholar says, bikes, out. Tough Mudder, out. Dogs, out. So out. Fish, down the effing drain. We're going full throttle on the Calabas Steak Boy Smelling Salts Club, baby. Try and keep up. Just another thing to add. Nicotine, check. Whiskey, check. What else he do? Those macadamia nuts, check. Electric bike, check. The baddies and the addies, they're out.
What's paying your life?
Last one, guys. This one was a funny clip from the Find the Kid subreddit. I mean, and it has Brian and Joe just having a pee break. Let's watch this. This one's called Two Alpha Males Handle a Bathroom Break.
So the only reality that exists is this unbelievably difficult world of murder and violence.
Yeah, but it does something else too.
I gotta pee.
You do?
Yeah, let's go.
You
back.
do?
I do. Yeah.
We'll come back.
We'll come back.
All right, I gotta pee. I'll secure your hips.
Oh, don't do it. I mean, to be prejudiced against myself, I look like a violent person.
Going donkey, donkey, donkey.
Still going.
Donkey, donkey, donkey.
I'm going.
You know, like Joe throughout the years has changed, right? He was the guy from radio. What's that show called? News Radio or something, right? He was in that sitcom. And then he became the Fear Factor guy, right? And also, you know, the UFC in between that too. And that's where Joe like really started to become like buff and get more stronger and bulkier. And this is early Joe, right? This is like the soy boy Joe. You know, Joe talks about taking, I think he might have said that he takes like HGH.
So you've juiced.
I take testosterone replacement therapy, and I've done it for almost 10 years. What is it, 49? Yeah, 39. I started when I was like 39, 37, 38.
And now that's why he looks like the way he does, right? And he's got that bubble gut and stuff. Like for a long time, like Joe didn't look like now, or the Joe that we have. He was just soy boy Joe. Bill Burr, like when he made fun of him, it's like, geez, like, you know, it took you a long time to like chill out. You had to just beat a couple of people first and had to wear your silly little rascals hat to finally calm down, because you're just so aggressive, and also, you know, smoke weed and stuff to chill out and stuff.
You had to beat out of people for like 3 decades before you could like chill, smoke a little weed, put on your little rascals hat, and just chill out.
Let's get to the comments here. Kimbo Slices Chicken says, before he was a genetic freak made of pure violence, he was a pretty little lady. He does look like Ezra Miller a little bit there, you know, I'll be honest. It's like he was this little lady, this little petite lady, and then he became a freaking, he looked like the guy from Breaking Bad, you know, the guy that loves rocks. Hank Schrader, whatever his name is.
Go show the boys your new rock collection.
You have a rock collection? It's a mineral collection. They're minerals.
Mr. Schaub.
All right, guys, that is it. Give this a like and subscribe. You made it all the way through. You have to. And see you guys next time for another show. Goodbye and good night. Bye-bye.
Say your prayers, little one. Don't forget, my son, to include everyone.
There you go.
I tuck you in, one within, keep you free from sin, till the Sandman he comes. Sleep with one eye open,